Alright, what's going on, guys? Today is March 27th, and this is going to be the daily market analysis video and outlook for what I see going into the charts for London session and also New York session. So last night, I called a trade a short on USDCAD, and I want to go ahead and talk about that real quick before we get into the charts. So let me put my daily delineators on. If you're wondering how I just put these dotted vertical lines on, if you just hit Control Y on your chart, it'll basically mark out each trading day. So if we look right here, this red line delineates Sunday. So we got, this is Monday's trade in here. It basically blends Sunday and Monday together. So we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's trade in here. So last night, what I was thinking is, okay, Monday set the high of the week for USDCAD. And the reason I was thinking that is because we have this up move right here before the down move. So this up move before this breakdown, which also created a lower low. Right, so if we look, this is a lower low right here. So once it traded back up into this level, I said, okay, this is resistance, so it should hold, right? And it did. It pushed lower. And then Monday's trading, we traded back up into it, cleared out the stops right here, and then we started to trade lower, right? So I said, okay, let me wait for confirmation, and then I'll get in. So we made a high, a low. I was expecting this to be a lower high, which it was. It was a lower high, right? Lower high from here, but we never made a lower low. You see? So basically, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so we can see this clearer. So I entered the trade right here where you could see this arrow, right? So I went short here, and the reason was because we had just broken market structure, right? This was a break in market structure. We broke lower. So I was expecting this candle here just to be a retest of this resistance level. Right, so I was expecting to trade up in here and then push lower. But we didn't get that. We broke above this box. So once we did that, I closed the position and we got out. So we still never broke this high, and this was the high that I was saying I didn't want to see 1.29 break, close above, which, let me mark that out real quick. Okay, so we closed above it, wicked, came back below it, closed above it, and then traded lower again. So when it was right here, I didn't know, okay, is it going to want to go higher and take out these stops? So I just waited. And that's why I waited for the breakdown. And I said, okay, so we got a lower low in place. This should be a retest and then head lower. But since we didn't get that, it's okay. We basically closed the position. It was like minus 20 pips or something like that. So we'll look to make that back before the end of the week. Alright, so going forward into tomorrow and the rest of the week. Since we basically consolidated since market open on Sunday, like if you look, we made this low, we made this high, and we've basically just been stuck in between this low and this high, right? Right in between it. I consider this here the market structure break. So I do still think we're going to go lower. However, I don't know if we're going to want to come up and take these stops out here. USD-CAD will more than likely, at least in New York session, sometimes in London session, it likes to make a stop run. That's basically what we've seen last night. So if we break this down even on a smaller chart, you can see there's stops that are built up. So there's stops here, there were stops here, stops here, stops here, all intraday stops. And last night in London, we had that push up to clear all that out. And then we ultimately traded lower, but we've been sideways in a consolidation. So I still think lower prices, but I'm waiting for further confirmation before I get on board this, because I don't see anything clear at the moment. All right, so that was last night's trade. Let's go over the charts real quick for what I'm looking for tonight and going into tomorrow. So if we take a look at the dollar index, like I was explaining in yesterday's video, I'm still expecting lower prices. We did get the retracement up yesterday, which came into a logical level of resistance. So let me go ahead and mark this out real quick. Alright, so this down candle before this push up should hold as resistance. And so far it has. Now what I'm expecting is I want price to start trading lower. So pretty much through London session and through New York session, I just want to see downside movement for the dollar index. So if we look, this low is 88.94. 88.94, perfect. So 88.94 is my next short-term downside objective for dollar index. If we get above this gray box here, then we're more than likely going to want to go higher to take out the range high. But as long as this gray box, this down candle, holds as resistance, we should trade lower from here. So since we expect weaker dollar index, that would mean strength in foreign currencies, which still is in line with the weekly outlook video of higher euro dollar and also higher cable. Which, by the way, guys, I haven't mentioned this. If you hear me say cable, I'm just talking about British pound USD. It's just called cable. And then Euro USD is called fiber. So if I ever refer to them as that, just know that I'm talking about either the euro dollar or GBPUSD. Okay, so real quick, let me actually do this. If we look at a daily time frame of euro dollar, we're still aiming for these highs up here, which is 1.25. I did take a aggressive long position on this during Asia. However, it's not the most high probability, so it's not something that I called in the signal room, but yeah, so currently this is slowly trading higher. I mean, since I got in this, you could see that it's just been a slow grind higher. So what I'm expecting with this is, again, like in the dollar index, we had our retracement up to basically initiate any retracement that we needed done in dollar index for price to want to trade lower in that. And we've had exactly the opposite happen in euro dollar. So we've traded down into this old level here. So I'll go ahead and mark this out. If we mark out this whole candle, this is a support level. Why? Because it's classified as an ICT bullish order block once the candles break through this. So we've traded back into it yesterday, and then we're starting to push higher, but we haven't really had a nice move up higher yet. So still expecting higher prices with this. If we do break this gray box though, we are more than likely going to go lower. So if we look at 4-hour time frame here, I'm trying to see what would be a good opportunity for us to get on board this. So I classify this as a market structure break, right? So we had this high. We had this high here, and then we had a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So the market was, technically bearish right here for this little bit of time, right? For these couple days or for this week. So once we broke above that yesterday and closed, that signified to me, okay, now we got to break a market structure, right? So I'm expecting a push higher. The only thing that's putting me off right now is this. Why is it freaking out? Is this right here. Oh my God, what's going on with my charts? All right, so this down move before this push up is also a resistance level. So the fact that we've traded up, wicked into it, and then started trading lower is the only thing that's really got me not really super excited about this right now. So that's why I said this is a super aggressive position that I have in from Asia session. And it's, I don't really expect it to just start, moving like crazy. I really need to see, let me show you. All right, so 4-hour chart, we had the break in market structure. Now we basically made a low, high, higher low, higher high. So in an ideal scenario, I want to see this candle hold. So we could trade back down in here, but ideally I don't want to see it go below this box. Okay, so even though I have my stop loss under here, that's just in case they trade lower real quick and wick below here and then ultimately trade higher. This is just it's my stop loss, but it's essentially like a little bit bigger stop loss than I would normally place, just because, like I said, I'm entering the trade with a bit of an aggressive entry. So euro dollar, still expecting higher prices. Ideally, like I said, this would be the level that I want to buy at. So it's basically the same level I got in Asia session. It was just before this level was like confirmed as a support level. Now it's confirmed as a support level because we've broken above it. So we should hold this. If we do break lower though, like I said, I'm going to be sitting on the sidelines and just waiting until we can get lower time frame bullish confirmation that we're going to want to go higher. And basically, if you're wondering what a lower time frame bullish confirmation is, I'm just looking for a trade down in here. So if I can get price to move down in this gray box and hold the gray box as support, I want to see it push up, form a high, then form a higher low, form a higher high, so ideally this is what I'd like to see it look like, something like this. And basically all this is just low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So it just indicates, bullish market structure. But I would be looking for this pattern, something like this, to occur on a 5-minute or on a 15-minute time frame. So this is basically it right here if we look. So we have this low right here. Then we have a higher low, right? So low, high, higher low, higher high, okay? So it's bam, 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 right? Then we would wait for a retest to push higher. So pushed up, came back down, wick below, came back up, wick below, and we've held it as support, right? So this is why I entered this pair during Asia session, because I seen this unfolding. So I entered, and then, like I said, it's just been a slow, gradual move up. But I'd like to see this happen in London session, because this pair ideally likes to make its low or high during London session. So if we can come down here, this would actually take out the daily low that's in place. So this is the low of the day right now. So if we can come down and maybe like form a wick or something like that, something like this, and then trade higher, this would be an ideal scenario for me. So I'll update the Telegram chat and let you guys know though if I take anything. And if you're not part of the Telegram chat, you can find the link right below in my description and just join there, and that's where I send all my free trade signals. So let's go ahead and take a look at GBPUSD on the daily. Also, we've basically come into a level of support and we've cleared out some daily stops. So this candle, this candle, this candle, all their lows have been cleared out. So anybody who was basically buying on this down candle and made money on this move up, they got cleared out yesterday by them coming back down to take them out. Notice how they came down and traded right into this candle, which is an ICT bullish order block. which is also support. So if we look at the low, it comes in at 4066, and then the high of this candle comes in at 40659. So 0.01 pips off. But I mean that's perfect. So basically if you went long right here based off this higher time frame support level, you'd already be up 120 pips. So this is why I talk about the key higher time frame, levels, because we have this marked out on the chart. Look at it. Trades down, super big candles on the downside. So people are so scared when it's doing this, they think it's just going to continue lower. But if you have your support and resistance levels marked out on your higher time frame, look how it trades down, stops, and immediately reverses. You'll only get trades like this if you have your higher time frame levels last night. I'm actually pissed that I missed this yesterday because we were looking at USDCAD so hard. I wasn't looking at any other pairs, but this was a beautiful buy entry yesterday for, now it's up 120 pips. And as far as the target, first target is going to be these highs up here. So that comes in at 142.40. And then I'm basically looking for these highs over here to be taken out. So still, I think we've got a lot more upside on cable. So getting on board this tonight in London session. Let me actually take a look at the news releases because I haven't looked at that yet. Okay, so more than likely, London session may be a bit quiet, and New York session is going to be the one that we're going to want to take part in. Euro might be a big mover today because we have news all day for Euro. So they may, we'll just have to see with that. I don't want to confuse anybody. But yeah, I think New York session will probably be the better session for us since we've got multiple different news releases, especially for dollar index. So I'll probably sit out for London, let the market do its thing, and try to get on board either a long on cable or fiber or a short on dollar CAD, because those are my three favorite pairs right now. Let's take a look. So if we can get, we drop down to an hourly time frame. To be honest, for the clearest setup that I see for this, I'd like it to break above here first. So if it could break above here, then retest it, I'll long it. And you still got to keep in mind that we're aiming for this high on a daily time frame. So regardless, like just because we didn't get in at this low, we're getting in 180 pips away from that. A lot of people are scared, but you have to think about, what the market's going to do. So this breaks market structure, retests it, long it there, that's 100 pips. So, there's never really any reason to be scared of, missing a move or anything in the market because you just wait, right? So this is the move that we would wait for and then long it up there. So ideally, if we can get this push up in London and then a retracement, right before New York session and then long it in New York session up to this level or for the rest of the week, that would be a good setup for me. So again, I'll keep you guys posted in the Telegram chat. And finally, let's look at, so we looked at the trade yesterday for dollar CAD, but we haven't specifically talked about what I'm looking for going forward for the rest of the week. So since we've let me put let's actually start with a daily with this as well. All right. Daily time frame on this. So we made a lower low. So we've came back, traded lower than this candle, this candle, this candle. made a lower low, right? Took out the stops. And then we had a strong close up. I still think this market is going lower, but I really want it to break through here first, because I just don't know. If you're looking for more of an aggressive position, as long as this gray box holds, it should continue lower. So even if you were to short it now and put a stop loss above this candle and target the 2720 level that I've been aiming for, then that's a decent position. I'm just waiting for more confirmation. So whether I get that in London or New York session, I'll look to enter it then. But this is the level that I am aiming for. We'll just call it 2725. So it's the top of this candle, which is also support, right? So if the market trades down into this, it should act as support. That's why I have my take profit set there. So sell it to here, exit, right? And then this could be a potential buy for us in this area off of this candle. We just have to see the price action that we get around those levels. So for tonight and tomorrow for this pair, honestly, I really just want to see it start breaking lower. I don't really care if it comes back up. Something tells me that they're going to want to take it up, though. I think they're going to want to come blow out all of this. So just to illustrate, I'm going to use this little X. Not saying that they will do this, but if they don't continue lower, basically through London and through New York, this is probably what they're going to want to do. There's stops built up above here, 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 and here. And the market's basically traded sideways all week with high impact news releases tomorrow morning. Typically when that happens, they'll like to use the news release as a stop run, or they'll use the session before the news release as a stop run. So for example, today they'll hypothetically speaking, they may take the market up during London session and then start to push it back lower. Once it gets back below, so it's back within this range, I'll look to short it. Basically, once we see bearish price action on a retest, and then we can look for new lows that way, right? So I don't see really any reason to buy this pair right now. So I'm still looking for shorts, but I really need a clearer setup for that. So if we can break below here, if we can break below this and then come back up and retest it, that'll be a solid short for me. So I could short it here, and then I could put my stop loss above the daily open. That'd be a little high, 40 pip stop loss, but I would drop down to a lower time frame to look for a tighter stop entry in here, because we could probably find something on a 15-minute time frame. So yeah, we just have to see the price action that forms around here. So if we can get like a logical resistance level, so like a bearish order block or something in this level here. So say price breaks down like this. Right here we may form a up candle and then trade lower. That would make a candle right here the bearish order block. So when we trade back into it, that should be resistance. And then we can put our stop loss above that. So that'll help us get a tighter entry. We just have to wait for price to unfold a little bit further. So still looking for shorts on dollar CAD and longs on Euro and GBP. And that is basically all the ways that I'm looking for the trades to either pan out and for me to get on board. Again, I'll update you guys in the Telegram chat. So if you're not a member in there, just click the link below in the description. And basically that'll take you to Telegram, which is like a little app where I could send like my trade alerts and let you guys know whenever I'm getting in a trade or how I'm going to manage a trade or just really anything regarding trading. So that would be a good practice if you're a new trader and you're trying to basically understand the markets. So let's see real quick. So I also, real quick before I close down the session, I had a, before I took a nap earlier, I called a sell limit position for USDJPY at 105.50. So let's mark that out real quick. So I am currently in USDJPY right now. And that's actually a trade that I called earlier in the Telegram group. So we're just waiting for that to break lower. But I just want to talk about it real quick. Okay. So I went short. I went short at 105.50, and it was when we were down here. So I said, if we can come back up and retest, this level, really this down candle here, that's what we're working in. So if we can come back up and retest that, that should be a pretty valid short with a stop loss above this high, targeting 104.65, which is these lows. So if we actually map this setup out, this is about, I want to say 1 to 3. Yeah. So basically we're risking 1 for about 3 back. So for every dollar we risk, we should make $3 on this trade. If we do break above this gray box, then we may want to come take out this high. At the moment though, I don't see that happening. We're just basically consolidating. So as long as, really as long as this gray box holds, we should be okay for the shorts. First objective is going to be this low here. And then really I'm looking for 104.65 like I said, but 104.90. So really you could just target each swing low. That's what I'm looking at. So it's about 30 pips from where we're at now. Okay, so that's it for today's daily analysis, guys. Please leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload more videos, which will be every day. You guys should see a daily analysis video, and I'm going to try to do 3 to 4 teaching videos a week. So you guys should have plenty of content to go over and study. Hope this was useful, and have a good one.